Hey, what up, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And I apologize for my voice ahead of time. I'm coming down with another cold, go figure. And I did about a stream for an hour earlier today talking about Mortal Kombat 1, and I just kind of wanted to make a shorter, more dedicated video on it. And hello, and yeah, so I thought that the reveal trailer was absolutely incredible. And what you're seeing in the background is the trailer footage, except I cut out the gory parts because sometimes you just don't know with YouTube. Even with somebody who doesn't monetize their videos, it could still mess with it. It's happened to me on stream before, and I couldn't stream for a week. And as you guys know, I'm actually quite fond of streaming in one way or another, no matter what kind of content it is. So let's get right into it. So I have ever since the reveal of this trailer, I've absolutely had a lot of speculations about everything in its entirety, and I have to say that I really like what I see. And this is actually the first time I've ever been interested in a Mortal Kombat this much since Mortal Kombat 9, because as you guys know, Mortal Kombat 9 was ultimately a the ultimate love letter to the fans, right? And the same thing would happen with with this one because, well, to a certain extent at least, because it's an alternate timeline of Mortal Kombat 1, right? Or should I say the beginning, right? Probably, I don't know if I would say the original trilogy, but when you have the characters in there that are in MK2 as well, it just makes it that much better, at least for me personally. But I have to say, I'm actually very, very happy with what I'm seeing so far. Obviously, the trailer looks absolutely amazing, and the game itself is not going to look. Uh, it's going to look the same, pretty much. It's not going to look quote unquote worse, especially with the fact that they're more familiar with the hardware now. And Mortal Kombat 11 looked amazing. I mean, I thought the trailer looked amazing, and then when we saw the footage of the reveal, when they revealed the gameplay, it looked pretty much almost identical to the trailer. So I'm expecting something along the same lines here. And I also looked at the fact page earlier. They were kind of discussing what Mortal Kombat, what kind of game it is, and what it's kind of gonna be like almost like a tag team fighting game, but not exactly. It's gonna be, I think, somewhere in the middle, and then they're gonna have their own twist on it. So I'm really interested to see what that's like. And what I also like about this trailer that you just saw a second ago was that we saw some Edenia, and I think we're actually going to go to Edenia. I think we're going to go to a multitude of realms where you're going to see a multitude of characters. And the interesting thing is, obviously, we're going to get to play as a bunch of characters, but there's also going to be like assist characters and that are going to be in this game. Uh, However, I think that with the amount of content that's going to be in this game and with the modes and recreation, since this is kind of like an alternate Mortal Kombat 1 uh, timeline, I would probably have to say that we're going to see an alternate version of a lot of things, not just the characters, and we're going to see some characters that were originally good and that went bad, and vice versa, or whatnot. That creates interesting twists in the story. But I think we're also going to see alternate versions of some of the modes that we've kind of come to know and love from Mortal Kombat, such as Test Your Might. And I think the story mode is described as immersive. And what kind of game genre do you think of when you think of being immersed? And that is the RPG genre. I think either via the story mode or via conquest mode, similar to Deception, but with this in this day and age, which I think is what they're going to do. um I think that we are going to get like action RPG style type of game, and you might even play as multiple characters depending on which realm you're in or whatnot. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point, but I am absolutely positively excited. And we also get to see Raiden. Like, he's not a god. He's Raiden, but he's not a god. So it's like maybe you get to see some sort of origin story with Raiden. I'm really curious to see exactly what's going on with Raiden, because remember, think back to the Future 2, right? Especially for my OGs out there that are around the same age as me or even older, right? Think back to the Future 2. Remember when he went back in time and things weren't quite the same and Biff was in charge and it was, yeah. So this is what this is like, but at the same time, it's basically Liu Kang has recreated everything from scratch and is basically letting it giving it up to the people to choose whether they want to live in peace or whether they want to not live in peace. Um, so yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens exactly and how Liu Kang portrays himself as a god now and what directions he makes now. And you see Scorpion and Sub Zero, you see Katana and Melina. There's Kung Lao and Raiden, Liu Kang. Those are the ones that you see in the trailer, but there's going to be a few more uh, that are going to be in the game that have already been announced. But there's also plenty more that you're going to be playing as that also haven't been announced, as well as guest characters that we have yet to see. But we're finally going to get a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin of Johnny Cage. So for those of you guys that are not familiar, Jean-Claude originally, before Mortal Kombat became Mortal Kombat back in 1992, or before 1992, when they were thinking about what they wanted to create, they were going to make a fighting game based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bloodsport or something like that, or inspired by Bloodsport. And later on, they just created Mortal Kombat. And Johnny Cage, when you look at what he was wearing in Mortal Kombat 1, he had the tight, short black shorts and the sash, right? The red sash, which was what Jean-Claude Van Damme wore. So it's like now we get Jean-Claude Van Damme as the Johnny Cage skin, which is awesome. There's even rumors of a Power Rangers skin. As people are saying that Smoke is going to make a return and a lot of the ninjas are going to be back. I mean, it just makes sense that Jade and Sindel would be in there. Maybe we get to see Onaga before he took over the reins as Dragon King excuse me, Onaga is the Dragon King, which was, and maybe we get to see Shao Kahn as the one who was an advisor for Onaga as opposed to Shao Kahn ruling, right? So you never know. You just never know what we're going to see. There's a lot of things that have been requested by fans over the time's end. As you guys know, NetherRealm is actually very, very capable of not only listening but providing those things. Kind of like who is in the roster. If there's a name that's being repeated time and time again, they're going to put them in the roster. So, and they'll find a way to make it work in the story. So I'm very interested to see the twists and turns with the story. I'm very happy to see a lot of the characters that I grew up loving. Like Scorpion will always be my favorite character, but I'll always love the other characters like Sub-Zero, like Raiden, and the original 7. Although Kano is probably my least favorite out of the original 7, but I always have a soft spot for the original 7. And I'm glad, well, I don't know if Kano's been announced. I don't know if he's going to be in the game or not. He might be like one of those assist characters or whatnot, but I'm just really glad to see that for the most part, the original, or the best characters that we come to grow and love are likely to be in this game. And the guy who steps through this portal here is Shang Tsung. Some of you guys might not recognize him, but that is Shang Tsung. And I'm very impressed with the artwork and the way they're making all these characters look. So I'm very curious to see what exactly is going to happen with the story. And when looking at it, just with these visuals, I'm just absolutely amazed. And with the art direction, the NetherRealm is absolutely masterful at this point in creating this kind of visual spectacle that we've come to know now. And even back in the day, they were good. Even before they became NetherRealm, they only got better at their craft as time went on. I mean, sure, they've missed the mark a few times here and there, but NetherRealm never failed to deliver. And I remember somebody in the stream earlier today was talking about how they were worried about possibly the film releasing the game releasing unfinished or something like that with bugs and all that kind of stuff, like the trend. But NetherRealm has yet to release a game like that, so I don't think that's going to happen. And plus, the game was obviously they took more time to make it. Usually, it takes them 2 to 2.5 years to create a game like this, and this time it took over 4. So I am personally thinking that what's going on is they also took the time to not only make sure that everything was right the way it was supposed to be, but to give us a shit ton of content, which is what Mortal Kombat is known for, right? Mortal Kombat is known to have that kind of content. Mortal Kombat is known to have the different kinds of game modes and to aspire, but without going too far off base. It's one of the things that has made them as legendary as they are as creators, as well as keeping them good at what they are as creators. Because ultimately, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, as a creator, a developer, you're going to end up getting very, very, what's it called? You end up getting bored, and it ends up affecting your work. And they've managed to make it work with what they've implemented into their games over the years, and cycling off and doing a little bit of Injustice, doing a little bit of MK versus DC, things like that, showing and flexing their muscles that they can do a multitude of things. They're not just good at such and such. And I truly believe that NetherRealm is very capable of doing an action RPG. I mean, they gave us Shaolin Monks, and it was always praised. They gave us Conquest Mode, which a lot of professional reviewers they shit on it, but the fans liked it, despite the fact that it was, you know, something that didn't look as good and that was very bland in comparison to a regular RPG. But it wasn't meant to be too crazy in depth because of everything else in the game. But if you give NetherRealm time, with their knowledge and with their artistic vision, I truly believe that they can create something like that. And I believe that in this game, in Mortal Kombat 1, and I can't believe I'm saying that in the year 2023, in Mortal Kombat 1, I believe we are going to get that. I believe we are going to get the the kind of conquest mode that we've always wanted from Mortal Kombat Deception, except it's going to be more in depth. It's going to be a lot more to do. It's going to be a pleasure to play more than anything, and it's going to have some sort of there's going to be some lore and everything else behind it. So I think, and when you think about it, it just makes sense, because when you look at games like Mortal Kombat Armageddon, one of the things that shines about that game is the creative fighter, and it was pretty surprisingly in depth. So when you think about it, you're playing conquest mode and you create your own fighter once again, but this time better, right? Which is something that we've wanted for a while. Like anything that we've requested over the years, we've gotten with NetherRealm. And I think right now what they're going to do is they're going to give it to us, because they finally had the opportunity to do it, which is, I think, another reason why we're getting yet another Mortal Kombat game, because usually about now we'd be getting an Injustice game. But there's a reason, I think there's a very specific reason as to why we're getting another Mortal Kombat game. And I personally think that once the game is fully revealed, like in terms of like actual gameplay and details beyond about what we know now, I think it's going to be a lot more clear as to why another Mortal Kombat title came out as opposed to Injustice. Now, me personally, I'm not arguing because I prefer Mortal Kombat to Injustice. As much as I respect Injustice and what they've done with that, and they've certainly only gotten better. Injustice 2 was better than Injustice 1 overall. And all that, but as well as their story creating capabilities and their story mode and making things a lot more interesting. I have to say that I grew up on Mortal Kombat more than anything else. Yes, I grew up on Marvel and DC as well, but more than anything, Mortal Kombat is the one that it hits me in the heart because of my personal experience. And if you guys want to know the details behind that, I have a video that I made recently. It was my previous video, I believe, and where it goes over my entire Mortal Kombat history. So if you're interested in that, and if you feel like listening for a good amount of time, I don't know, like what is it, like 45 minutes, or is it longer than that? I don't remember. But then feel free to go in and listen because I was around when Mortal Kombat was in its prime. I was there when Mortal Kombat 2, MK2, made the impact that it did, that is still felt to this day. So I truly love the franchise, and for me personally, the fact that they're kind of going back to an alternate timeline of the beginning is something that appeals to me, an OG fan. And even though recently I haven't really played much Mortal Kombat, my eyes have always been on it. I've always been interested in the story, and I've always been on the lookout for something that would specifically interest me, that would bring me back to the series to come back and play. And it looks like I'm going to get it, and I think a lot of us are as well. But I've always been around and I've always watched the stories and I know where we're at. And I think that it is I think it's an overall good decision that they went this route and that we know what the true ending of Mortal Kombat 11 was and which direction they're going in. But NetherRealm is known for their twists and turns, which this game is certainly going to provide. They say that on their website themselves. And I'm very eager to find out exactly how they're going to provide it, because these guys, at the end of the day, are good storytellers and they're only getting better. And I'm very much looking forward to what they give us. So great job, NetherRealm, on the reveal. Congratulations on the reveal. And I'm really looking forward to what you guys are bringing next, because quite frankly, I am excited for this game. Like, this is the most excited I've been for a Mortal Kombat title since Mortal Kombat 9. And I can't wait to see what else you're going to tell us and what else you're going to show us. So thank you, NetherRealm. Thank you, Ed Boon. And for all of my fellow Mortal Kombat fans out there, whether you're an OG or whether you're someone who's a little bit younger, what do you guys think of the trailer? What are you guys thinking? What are you guys speculating? I really want to know, because I think this game, so obviously, this is the beginning of the honeymoon phase now that we're starting to see things and reveal things, but there's always little hints in these trailers, but but I'm the fact that I'm as surprised as I am in terms of what I'm seeing is a good sign, because it's something that they managed to do when I was a younger kid, and they still managed to surprise me even after all this time, 30 years later. So that is another reason why I am as loyal as I am to the creators of this franchise, as well as just the franchise in general. You know, Mortal Kombat will always be my favorite fighting game. Although Street Fighter is the greatest fighting game of all time, Mortal Kombat is my personal favorite fighting game, and I'm really looking forward to what they show us next. So, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time, and let things be known down in the comments section. Take care.